Just popping on today. I didn't think I was going to do another one of these. I wasn't going to do one until next week. I was going to try to do one a week. I don't even know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I thought that the view was so beautiful up here. I mean, it really is breathtaking. And there's a funeral at the burial ground I was going to go to. So I didn't want to be all up in their grill. So I'm stopping in this field just for a moment. Just to, mainly the climb kind of gets my blood going and clears out my arteries and, I don't know, lubricates my sinews and gristle. Anyway, I was looking at my feed before I left, and I saw all these little posts. I'm sure a lot of feeds full of being offended. I'm offended by that person doing that. I'm offended by that person doing that. That person shouldn't be doing that. That person shouldn't be doing that. This person should be doing what I think they should be doing. I remember one time in 2006 or something. Sorry about the wind. Trying to cover that. My boss had said, he'd done something, and I said, well, I feel betrayed by that. He said, well, that's on you. And I remember being offended by that. And I've come to learn that he is right. He was right. I was the one who was in control of those emotions. The fact that he didn't behave the way I wanted him to, that's not on him, it's on me, how I react to that, how I choose to react to that. Being offended means you want to be right. Now, this does not apply to cruelty, physical cruelty, burning people alive, torturing babies, that kind of stuff. Severe racism where there's hate crimes and beating people up and killing people, that does not apply to that. I think we all can be offended by man's inhumanity to man. That's okay. I think we need to change that. That does not apply in this case. What I'm talking about is like what other people are wearing, or whatever people are doing, or what other people are worshiping, or whatever people are feeling or doing in their own personal time. What difference does that make to you? I remember one time back in the skinny rocker days, I was, my girlfriend and I were wearing these tiny little clothes, about that big. But we could at that time. Nothing was hanging out. And the mall security came up to us and said, we need to ask you to leave because somebody's offended by what you're wearing. I thought, well, that's weird. So we left the mall. We thought, that's interesting. We weren't hurting anybody. Nothing, seriously, nothing was hanging out. Nowadays, that would be very not okay to do. Let's not consider it. But back then, what were we doing? We weren't doing anything. I'm thinking somebody was blogging about one of the lesbian, gay, transgender flags being, a swastika was drawn on there and they were taken down and it was all, destroyed. But who does that define? Does that define what the flag represents, which is love? Or does it define the person who did that action? It defines to me the person who did that action. So unless you take it personal, you can't really be offended. So when you realize nothing is personal, it isn't. It's all really what has to do with them. And your reaction to it, which is really the only thing you have control over. That's it. I tell my son this all the time. I go, if I was 17 and somebody would have said the only thing you ever have control over is you, your reactions, actions, sometimes your environment, sometimes what you take a look at in your brain, that's it. The rest of it, no control. You have no control over this. None, 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 none. 0, 0, 0. But you do have control over yourself. So somebody pulls you aside and said they're offended by what you're wearing, or that you have the American flag on that defines them. It defines them. My husband says that sometimes, because I'm working on all this on my own, myself, he says, I think you might be judgmental against people that are judgmental. And that I might be offended by people who get offended, and that might be true. It's probably very true. So there's always work to be done. This is always a work in progress. So, if the whole world was exactly like you, or if the whole world was exactly like me, it'd be awfully boring. Don't our differences make up what we are? How do we have the right to say what other people can do and can't? As long as it's not hurting anybody, as long as it's still in compassion and kindness, what's the problem? If the whole world was like me, it'd be really boring. Funny, but boring. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that. I wasn't going to do one until next week, but I'm doing one today because of the view. I really wanted to share this with you. I love you very, very much. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.